Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to do some game testing on the Honor 20 Pro. Thanks to the Kirin 980's NPUs as well as GPU Turbo 3.0 in Magic UI 2.1, we're able to get some of the best gaming experiences on a mobile phone. This is TK and this is XDA TV. So we finally have the Honor 20 Pro back in the office. This one is in the purple or the Thanos color that I like to call. We have a 6.2-inch IPS LCD display capable of going up to 60 frames per second depending on the game that we're playing with. We basically have different variants, but the gaming experience between the Honor 20 Pro and the Honor 20 should be very similar. We have the punch hole camera on the front on the top left, and the difference as far as the optics is where it becomes basically prominent between the Honor 20 Pro and the Honor 20 is that we also have telephoto lens, the wide angle lens, and the macro lens here, where we only have the wide angle lens and the macro lens and the assist for bokeh effect on the Honor 20. But when it comes to gaming with the Kirin 980 and the NPUs, we're going to get the same very good experience of playing games. So you're able to go into the app assistant, which also enables you to be able to connect to both the peripherals. That's the BTOP G1 and the H1 if you have them. And of course, you're able to go in there in the feature descriptions. You can go into the settings, knuckle gestures to be able to turn it on. But we also have game acceleration and uninterrupted gaming to enable us to basically have a very good dedicated gaming. So we have Brawl Stars right there. We have PUBG Mobile. We have Real Racing, Fortnite, Asphalt 9, and of course Subway Surf. Now, that's not all of them. We also have, of course, Thumper in here that I didn't add, but you're able to add them manually. So let's go back in here. And if you don't find the game, you'll just go add, scroll down to the one that you find right there, turn on the actual option for it, and then you're able to go back into it. Last but not least, I do want to mention the fact that there is a special Fortnite skin that you're able to pick up with the Honor 20 or 20 Pro, and that's called the Wonder Skin. And the Wonder Skin is a unique feature and a perk for getting the Honor 20 or the 20 Pro, unfortunately not the Honor Lite. And if you'd like to know exactly how to be able to claim this, there'll be a link in the description below to a video that I did showcasing exactly how to get that. Short answer basically is the Wonder Skin is a very nice perk and you're able to play that and enjoy it when you're playing games. As far as the other games that we have here, some of the benefits of GPU Turbo 3.0 is the ability of getting up to 60 frames per second. So we're going to go through and I'll show you guys some of those screenshots. I went ahead and ran about 45 minutes worth of game testing between each game. And you'll be able to basically see here, I have some screenshots that we're able to look into. First and foremost, we have here, this is Asphalt 9. Pretty much ran about 30 frames per second. As I'm showing you right now, this is a quick screenshot of how it looked like. I did screen recording on the same time as I was running Game Bench, just to be able to kind of show you guys how it looked and how the refresh rate was actually showing on the display. So Asphalt 9 actually, for the most part, played really good. No stutters, no issues. Temperatures were still reasonable on the phone. And of course, everything was running pretty nicely as far as just overall gameplay. To DB Legends. DB Legends is also one of the other games that was supposed to be optimized by GPU Turbo 3.0. Now, maximum frame rate we were able to get is basically 30 frames. So the range that you're seeing here is 0 to 60. Right dead center at 30 frames per second. But as you can see here with the gameplay, it just looks really, really nice. The actual frame rate was pretty good. Sound experience, everything was really nice. There's no issues as far as using it. My only thing would be is I would wish we had a slightly higher frame rate. But as you can see here, 30 frames per second consistent throughout the game was actually really, really nice. Now switching it over to Subway Surf, that was actually a nice little surprise. We were able to get all the way up to 60 frames per second consistent throughout the gameplay with a few stutters here and there, but even then it was only dropping to like 58, 57. Temps were pretty good. As you can see here with the gameplay, there's no stutters, no issues with the frame rate, and really nice just gaming experience. And when we use Game Bench, we were actually able to see exactly how the performance is done on our phone, which is definitely very appreciated. Now I switched it over to a game that wasn't necessarily supported, but this is Thumper, and Thumper was supported all the way at 60 frames per second, very consistent. This is definitely not a very heavy graphic intensive game, but it does actually draw really nice, and it does have a lot of motion graphics, which really were basically very smooth. There was no issues, no stuttering, nothing. Gaming experience was really good, full display, everything was nice as you could see there. And again, very, very nice and always enjoyable to play on any device. Now switching it over to Real Racing 3, we were also able to consistently keep 60 frames per second. This game is actually pretty nice. It's very easy as far as the controls, and gameplay was easy. No stuttering, of course, no issues at all, and consistent 60 frames per second was also really appreciated. Now, before we get into Fortnite, and I'll explain to you guys what happened there, with PUBG, I was able to get consistently 40 frames per second. It was actually pretty good, and that is actually slightly higher than what most people will get with this game, and that's where GPU Turbo 3.0 kicked in. Now, we've seen this with the GPU Turbo 2.0 from previous generations, but it's nice to see that it's consistently carried over, even with the latest generation of devices. And again, 40 frames per second, pretty consistent. Every once in a while, it drops to maybe about lot. I would say, 38, 36, but for the most part stayed around 40, and the gameplay was, of course, very nice. No stuttering when people were spawning in the background or anything, and even when we were jumping off, everything was really nice, as you could see with the little clip that I'm showing you guys right now. Overall, for the most part, I was actually taxing the system quite a bit. Not only was I using Game Bench and playing a game, on top of that I was doing screen recording. So that's one of the few things that I feel like was attributing to the temperatures that I was getting. When it comes to Fortnite overall, as far as the gameplay, I think the maximum we're able to do with Fortnite right now is 30 frames per second, and that's due to a limitation from the developer. What you're seeing right there here is just recording of what I was playing. Right there is on the middle side is basically what Game Bench was running, and we were able to basically capture about 22 frames per second, although I'm not 100% sure that it works correctly in Fortnite because of the way it actually gets turned on. But let's go ahead and skip forward a little bit here. You can see the gameplay was actually pretty good. Overall, I had an opportunity to actually spawn right there. Give it a second. Right there, I was able to get that kill shot. But short answer is, gameplay was very nice. It's very smooth. 30 frames per second is limited, and it's limited by the developer. It has nothing to do with GPU Turbo 3.0, although I would imagine with the next update we should be able to get that. But again, the Wonder Skin is definitely very nice, very unique, and of course a very nice perk when you're picking up the brand new Honor 20 or Honor 20 Pro. Gaming on this device is going to be a breeze. We have the 7nm Kirin 980 running the NPUs, of course, with the GPU Turbo 3.0 optimizations. All of these will basically attribute to not only good performance, but also enhanced performance in certain games. As we saw with PUBG, we were able to get 40 frames per second. Now, some of the other games you saw, we were running consistent 60 frames per second. Thumper was one of them as well. DB Legends was running really nice at 30 frames per second. Some of the racing games were doing much better than others. So just depending on the game you're picking up, you're going to get the best that this game can offer you. Now, there are some games, and I'll link you guys the article that we put out on the portal, that just references all the GPU Turbo 3.0 games that are compatible right now. Most of the ones I showed you today were compatible with it, so we did get some optimizations there. And using, of course, the app assistant just gives us the ability of aggregating all of our games, turning on the acceleration as well as the uninterrupted gaming. And if you do end up having one of those controllers, you're also able to connect it there and make sure that it's configured in the right way. The Honor 20 Pro and the Honor 20 have a very good setup. Now, the Honor 20 has a slightly smaller battery. The 20 Pro has a 4,000 milliamp battery, so you do get a little bit longer play. But overall, as far as basically the essence of the performance, you're going to get the same experience. As well as that special Fortnite skin that you're able to pick up straight from Epic, just for basically getting the phone. Just keep in mind that it is not available for the Honor 20 Lite. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of the Honor 20 and the Honor 20 Pro? They're definitely really cool phones, and I'm really happy that the 20 Pro is coming back, and we're able to basically get the benefit of the optics that we have on the back of that device, the larger battery, of course, and just the overall aesthetics. I love that purple color on it. I like to call it the Thanos color. But other than that, like and subscribe as usual. Check out my channel. Check out that link in the description if you'd like to know how to be able to reclaim or get the basically the Wonder Skin that they have here for the Honor 20 and the Honor 20 Pro. I'll see you guys in the next video.